Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be reviewing one of the transformation trinkets for Super Sentai. Now don't worry, this won't be a regular thing, mainly because the earlier Super Sentai transformation trinkets cost a boatload of money, like $900 for one toy, and I just don't have that kind of cash. Well, at least I don't have that kind of cash I'm willing to spend on some cheap plastic. But anyway, the Denji Man ring is one of the first transformation trinkets for Super Sentai, and I think it was the first. I don't remember if Battle Fever J had that. It might have. I may be wrong. I do remember Sun Vulcan having that, but it came after Denji Man. Sun Vulcan was the one that popularized that whole wrist bracelet transformation trinket thing. But Denji Man had the first transformation trinket that I can recall, and they never made a toy of that. I can understand not making a toy of the Sun Vulcan toys because the transformation trinket for the Sun Vulcan toys was a really really intricate bracelet with like removable parts and everything. But Denji Man ring, the Denji rings are just rings, and I never understood why they didn't make a toy of that. Even when I was a kid watching, those crappy 80s, 90s TV cartoons with, say, like Captain Planet. Captain Planet, the main characters had those five rings that, summoned the primary elemental forces. And if you bought the toys, you could get the rings. And most kids that I knew of who was into that series, and there was a surprising number of us for some reason. It was a terrible cartoon series, but somehow the rings just spoke to us. We bought the toys and we threw away the action figures and just kept the rings, and that's all we cared about. Are those like play rings that would let us pretend we were characters on the show. My favorite was Wheeler. I had the fire ring. But anyway, for Denji Man, so the Denji rings, they never made it. I'm not sure why. Maybe they didn't want to risk the merchandising. Maybe they didn't know what direction they were going to go, and they didn't know if they would keep the transformation trinket as a continuous toy line. Maybe they just wanted to focus on the Denji Robo. I mean, you see it right here. It looks pretty good. So I'm not sure why they did it. The fact remains is that they didn't. So here, for the Super Sentai Artisan from Premium Bandai, they made, for one of the seasons, they made the Denji rings. And I remember seeing it, I'm thinking, huh, they made the Denji rings, so I might as well get that. I hadn't watched Denji Man at the time, so I just bought it because I was a Super Sentai fan. And here it is. Now you have the box with the five heroes on it, five cardinal heroes on it. I'm still not a fan of the suits, but Denji Robo's still there, and you have the five primary colors down here. Five primary colors, and let's take a look. Comes in a really classy looking black box here. Okay, put that for there. So you have this ring, and it comes in a foam packaging so that the rings don't like flop around in there. So these look pretty good. They're die cast, and again, these are very simple rings. I don't understand why they didn't make the plastic versions because it would have been really easy to manufacture. You would think. Just these gems on the side. They didn't even have to put in the gems unless they really wanted to be show accurate because the gems were just like really. They were just color effects. They had the lights coming off of the borders and corners of the rings. So for this one, they had different colors for each of the Denji Man rings. And if they made it back in the 80s, you would think that they would just make one version for all five because you didn't actually need to have all the colors unless they didn't want to put all that money into making five different colors when they knew that they'd have excess of merchandise. But I'm not really sure how toy sales work. Here, so here's the diecast. You can see the colors of the little gems on the sides, and these are, you know, and each of them look pretty good. So you have the blue here, green, yellow, and pink. And they're keychains apparently, because apparently the people who buy this sort of stuff, the people like me, they want to put them in their like Ita bags or something. So I'm gonna I guess I have to get an Ita bag now. Super Sentai Ita bag. Let's see. So, let me see. There normally for these keychains, there's here it is. This is one of these clip-off things. Ah, there we go. Okay, get that out of here. Oh wait, oh, has the Dingy Man logo on it. This thing's like bent out of shape, so I'm not sure how sturdy this thing is. So here is the Dingy Man, Dingy Red Ring. Looks pretty good. Now I have really bony fingers, so this will probably fit on me. So if you have large fingers or fat fingers, I'm not sure how well these will fit on you. But suffice to say, my bony fingers, they'll probably fit. Yeah, see, they fit pretty well, pretty well, and you know, looks pretty decent on me. Oh man, now it's stuck. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Oh, even my thumb. Yeah, fits on my thumb too. Man, what a surprise. Now I used to have arthritis on that thumb. It used to be really swollen, but now it's back to its old bony self. Yeah. So put that up here. Now here's blue, and let me see. That that point is really wedged in there, and I'd rather not take it out, so I'm just gonna do this little bit. Put it over here. Green. You have green here. Pink. Yellow. And those are the Dingy Man rings. Again, I'm not sure why they didn't make a toy version of this back when Dingy Man first came out. These rings are really, really simple, and I imagine manufacturing wouldn't be too big of an issue. So, you know, it's really a shame because I'm sure that with Dingy Man's show ratings and with how well it did back in the day, that these would have sold out like hotcakes. But you know, this is a pretty good recreation of the Dingy Man rings, and it was a pretty good product. I'm not sure how much I paid for it. I don't think it was anything too expensive. But you know, the premium Bandai stuff are for people with large amount of disposable income. Well, maybe not large, just an average amount of disposable income. So if you don't get whatever these go for, it's like not a big deal. But for someone who's like a Super Sentai fan like myself, these are pretty good. I mean, I put that they mostly stay on my shelf, and they might populate a Super Sentai Ita bag whenever I get to one of those things. But you know, outside of that, you know, what I'm really looking forward to is whenever they try to do the Sun Vulcan changers, because they're gonna have to sell that as a set, and those have like removable parts. The Sun Vulcan wrist changer had like this removable, like red, blue, yellow, like with the eagle, shark, and panther insignias and emblems on them that you could remove, and it's Super Sentai Artisan. Normally they're really, really show accurate. So yeah, like this one is pretty show accurate to the Dingy Man show, and I just really would like to see them do something for Sun Vulcan, because I'd really love to see that emblem for Sun Vulcan. That's probably why they didn't make it back in the day. But if they can release that, I'd probably buy it. These are pretty good, and they'll probably stay on my shelf unless I want to do like I said, I want to do a Super Sentai Ita bag. Probably not gonna happen. These are just gonna stay on my shelf, and you know, collect that. These are just mostly a collector's item. They're a curiosity. You know, unless you're a huge Super Sentai fan like I am, missing out on them isn't that big a deal. But you know, it's already been almost 10 minutes, so I think that this is enough for a Super Sentai Transformation Tricky Toy review. So like, favorite, subscribe. I'll see you next time.